Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, by Carol Dweck. When it comes to failure, children often have a different attitude and reaction than adults, as children live with failure while adults always want to succeed in every attempt. So what is the difference between these children and most adults? Children believe that intellectual skills can be developed through making effort. Therefore, what most adults consider a failure, children see it as a learning opportunity for the following experiences. There are many schools of thought that differ on the interpretation of differences between people, as some scholars believe that certain physical traits explain these differences. Some of these physical traits include physiology, cardiology, and genetics. On the other hand, other scientists believe that people are different as a result of the experiences they are exposed to, the type of training they receive, and some other environmental factors. An example of this is the scientist Alfred Bennett, the inventor of the intelligence test, IQ test, as he designed the test to identify children who do not benefit from public schools and suggests that education and the way it is spread should have a direct impact on a person's level of intelligence. While the neuroscientist, Gilbert Gottlieb, believes that nurture is not responsible for individual differences between people, but there is a shared role between both of them as genes function properly only if there are appropriate inputs from the environment. According to the author Carol Dweck, there are two types of mindset, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. A fixed mindset believes that your IQ is immutable while a growth mindset believes that your IQ is your starting point. And whichever mindset you choose, it will have a huge impact on the path you take in life. With a growth mindset, dedication, determination, desire, and training can unleash potentials you never knew you had. The author gives examples as Darwin, Tolstoy, Van Hogan, and Cindy Sherman, as they all had the bad beginnings, but then they became the best in their fields. So instead of trying to prove your level of intelligence, you can work on developing yourself to new levels. In contrast, people with a fixed mindset see the things that happen to them as a direct measure of their competence and value. So when they have to deal with failure, they usually tend to give up. While people with a growth mindset see failure as a learning path, and although this may not prevent them from feeling uncomfortable when they face failure, they certainly won't place themselves within the boundaries of failure. Bit to remember, mindsets are of two types, fixed and growth, and the type of mindset we choose for ourselves has a huge impact on the course of our lives. Understanding the two mindsets leads to completely different sets of thoughts and actions that produce completely different beliefs. A growth mindset enables a more accurate assessment of abilities while a fixed mindset gives you a false impression of abilities. Therefore, aspiring people have to learn to be self-aware and know their strengths and weaknesses correctly. And this is what Carol emphasizes in the fact that we can change the mindset we have previously taken in our lives. Benjamin Barber, a prominent sociologist, divided the world into two parts, the educated and the uneducated. Everyone is born educated until they begin to evaluate themselves, while those who develop a fixed mindset become unteachable. Carol Dweck conducted an experiment on 4-year-old kids in which she offered an opportunity to replay an easy puzzle or try a harder puzzle. Children with a fixed mindset chose the easy puzzle, while children with a developing mindset realized that it was silly to repeat this easy puzzle, so they wanted to measure their abilities with bigger challenges. Mindset changes the meaning of failure. The type of mindset you have will determine whether failure is something you face, deal with and learn from, or whether it is something that overshadows your head for the rest of your life, so failure is always a defining moment. A fixed mindset does not give a good recipe for overcoming failure. It leads to shirking responsibilities, rather than putting in more effort. The writer also explains the relationship between mindset and frustration. After a study conducted among university students, it was found that students with a fixed mindset have higher levels of depression than their peers. In contrast, depression in students with a growth mindset motivates them to take steps that help them overcome their problems. Therefore, the writer emphasizes the possibility of changing the way of thinking, although it is closely related to personality, there is no one permanent mindset in a person, but it is possible that he has a mixture of fixed and growth mindsets, and it is also possible that he has a different mindset for different parts of his life. To emphasize this concept, the author gives several examples of athletes such as the baseball player Billy Beane, the legendary boxer Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, and Tiger Woods, whose careers have also shown that mental talent affects much more than physical abilities. Bit to remember, mindsets play a huge role in success and failure while facing challenges. In terms of interpersonal relationships, the writer argues that people with a fixed mindset do not accept rejection, and as a result they feel unloved, and have no hope of recovering from grief at all. But for individuals with a growth mindset, it is more about understanding, forgiveness, and moving on in life. We also find that they do not feel rejected at all. In terms of parental relationships, it is normal that every father and mother want to help their children achieve success in life, but sometimes the lessons and advices that parents give to their children may send the wrong message in the end. Every word and every action they take sends a message that may direct children toward a fixed or growth mindset. Children are sensitive to these messages and therefore their personalities are formed based on them. Teachers also send messages to their students continuously. Coaches also send messages to athletes, and in fact, humans are highly sensitive to these messages, which contribute to shaping their mindset and way of thinking. When parents give their children an ideal model of a fixed mindset, they ask them to fit into the mold of the brilliant child, and therefore they may feel that there is no room for error, and no room for children's freedom to determine their own interests, desires, and values. In contrast, Carol Dweck sees that great teachers always believe in the growth of intellect and talent, and they are fascinated by the learning process, and therefore, they have high standards for all of their students, not just the students who actually achieve success. Therefore, parents, teachers, and coaches must take responsibility for the lives of others that are associated with our actions and words, knowing that a growth mindset has a key role in helping us achieve our mission and helping them achieve their potential. Bit to remember, mindset has a great influence on both interpersonal and parental relationships, the teacher's relationship with his students and the coach's relationship with his team. People with a growth mindset believe that change is possible, and realize that it does not come suddenly and that it may take some time for a person to shift from old beliefs to new ones. So it requires continuity to develop the new beliefs so that they become much stronger than the old ones. People with a growth mindset are constantly watching what is happening, but their inner dialogue is not about judging themselves and others in this way. For sure, they are sensitive to positive and negative information, but they are in tune with their impact on learning and constructive work, and ask, what can I learn from this? How can I develop? How can I help my partner do this better? Cognitive therapy helps in making more realistic and optimistic judgments. A growth mindset gives you the courage to embrace your own goals and dreams rather than trying to compare what you accomplished against what a great athlete, a great writer, or a genius has accomplished, and believing that you are supposed to be in the same level of success. The author Carol Dweck also talks about the concept of mindset workshop and about the major changes that have taken place in the lives of students who have gone through the process of changing mindset. So we can apply the changing mindset workshop on ourselves, where the author lists a number of fixed mindset situations and practical steps you can take to switch to a growth mindset. Create a mindset plan for growth, visualize it in a concrete way and explore how you are going to implement it. Carol Dweck emphasizes that whether or not we are ready to make the change, it is very useful to maintain a growth mindset in our thoughts so that you can have it as a possible solution when you face any problems that a fixed mindset cannot solve. Bit to remember, you can devote your mental efforts to shifting from your old beliefs to new ones, and this is one of the steps of shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset.
Thanks for watching. Please follow our social media accounts. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.